I'm upset. And at the risk of having a bunch of you come at me and say, hey, Smitty, you're not important. Hey, Smitty, fantasy football worlds aren't important to the NFL. We don't really matter. Let me tell you something, okay? And I'm talking about Josh Jacobs right now, who's trolling on his IG stories right now, talking about how he's not going to play in fantasy football worlds, or what was his quote? I'll pull it up here in a second. Fantasy football worlds are heated or whatever. Josh Jacobs on his IG story says, I'm not playing today. And that fantasy worlds are all hot about it. Like we're a hot mess. And now everybody's scrambling. And news wires don't know what to do. Do we start Jacobs? Do we put him on the bench? He says he's not playing. He's warming up on the field right now, I might add. And this Roto World report right here says that Josh Jacobs dressed out and he may be trolling fantasy communities because he's on the field warming up. Now, I know I've already gotten a lot of you in the Instagram comments and DMs saying, Smitty, don't act like we're important. We don't really matter. NFL teams and players don't care. We don't make the players. Let me tell you something. Without fantasy football, without NFL fans, these players wouldn't make any money. These players wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't be anything. So don't give me that crap that we don't matter. Fantasy football worlds make up over half of the NFL audience now. Easily. Now, it's hard to break that down because some people watch football and some people also play fantasy. There's a mix. Maybe they'd still watch football without fantasy. I don't know how you break that down. But what I do know is it's very disrespectful to your fan base to not only play games like this, but then call them out. And I just think it's really disrespectful of Josh Jacobs to be trolling fantasy football worlds in week 14. I know this sounds to the non-fantasy football guy like we're crying, we don't matter, blah, blah, blah. But we do. We do matter. We make up a big part of the fan base. We're the reason that Josh Jacobs gets paid. We're the reason that Josh Jacobs is a star. And if you take away fantasy football, you take away the fans, you don't have the money. You don't have the exposure. It's garbage. It's garbage. Now fantasy football worlds are scrambling. In week 14 of all weeks, Josh Jacobs has to troll fantasy football land with his I'm not going to play. And let me see if I could screenshot the actual tweet or the actual story that Josh Jacobs let me get on Instagram real quick. Instagram, Josh Jacobs. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Here it is. This is his tweet, or it's not his tweet, his story, his IG story. Hold on one second, trying to screen capture this bad boy and put it on screen for you. Doing it live, doing it live. Okay, here we go. So his first Instagram story was this. Sorry guys, I'm not playing today. Then the next one was this one. A lot of fantasy owners, a lot of hot fantasy owners. What do we do with this information? King says he successfully trolled you all grown men crying. See, King, I knew I was going to get half the response for that. And half the response was going to be, hey, this is stupid. Can't believe Josh Jacobs would do this to us. I know I'm going to get a split reaction from all of you. From all of you that don't own him, you don't care. It doesn't bother you at all. If you own him, you're upset. That's the way it is. That's how you define this. This is like the Taysom Hill argument. If you own Taysom Hill, you loved it. If you didn't, you didn't. If you don't have Jacobs, you're kind of excited because maybe you're playing somebody that doesn't know what to do at this point. But you know what's going to happen? as you laugh at this situation, you're going to look down and the guy that you're playing is going to have Booker, and if Jacob sits, Booker plays, and not that Booker's going to be that great. Start Jacobs, Hunt, Dobbins, Gurley. Probably Hunt at this point, man. I don't know that I'd play him. He's warming up right now. I feel like trusting him would only blow up in our face at this point. Not trusting him is going to blow up in our face. I don't know. It depends on your scenario. It depends on what you got going on with your lineup. But I myself would look to a Hunt. I would look to maybe even a J.K. Dobbins over him at this point. Because imagine if the guy sits. You're going to be so damn upset. What did it say at the bottom of the story? It says, what's it say at the bottom of the story? Tell me what it says, bro. He put something in real fine print. What's it say, Rob? I have Miles Sanders. I can slide him in for Jacobs. I put in Sanders. Sanders is definitely safer. He flipped off the owners at the bottom. It's messed up, bro. Jacobs. Yeah, Jacobs thinks it's funny. Like, here, let me screw my fan base. If you own Jacobs, you're obviously somewhat of a fan of his. It makes no sense to piss off your fan base. It's ridiculous. He's warming up. If I had to guess, people, and I'm totally guessing because he's trolling us. I would guess that he plays. I think he's completely trolling fantasy football worlds because he's one of those NFL players. It's like fantasy. They drive me nuts. I hate how they tweet about me. I hate how they tag me in their stories and make me popular and do what it is that I asked them to do when I first wanted to enter the NFL and be a college football player is cheer me on and talk about me constantly. I want to be in the spotlight. Then they get in the spotlight and then they're all upset about it. Like, it's frustrating. Why not cater to your audience? Why not cater to... That's like me coming in here and telling you I'm not going to do my show. I'm not doing my show today. And then I come on and do my show. I wouldn't do that to you. Some of you might think it's funny. Oh, man. It's upsetting. Jacobs or Mike Williams? I don't know on that one. That one's tough. Jacobs is irrelevant without fantasy. Noah says, I agree. Noah and I agree for the first time. For the first time ever. So I got on here for one reason to complain. Number two, to get on here and update you on Jacobs. Because I think a lot of you are like, what do I do? There's reports that he's not playing. There's reports that he's active. There's reports that he's active, but he's not playing. There are reports that he is on the field warming up. So if I had to guess, and I'm merely guessing, I think he plays. I think he's trolling fantasy worlds. I think he's trying to toy with people because maybe he doesn't like being tagged on Instagram-y poo in little stories because it upsets him that people are talking about him not having enough touchdowns or rushing yards, and he's bothered by that. So he's going to come in and try and screw up your world and try and make you... Yeah, don't start me this week, and then he goes crazy, let's say, and then he's going to gain a lot of fans over that. A lot of jersey sales are going to come out of this, Jacobs. You really thought this one through. Let's piss off the people that like me enough to draft me in their fantasy league, and let's screw them over. Let's see if we can up those jersey sales. You gotta be kidding me. What the hell's wrong with you? What makes you think you're going to sell another jersey in 2020? Oh, yeah, Rob. He's disinvited to the Sleeper You in the Fantasy Football Show Christmas party, Rob. You're exactly right. Good God, man. What happened, fantasy account? We're talking about how Josh Jacobs announced that he's not playing on his Instagram stories, yet he's warming up on the field. And he said, I have the two stories up on my IG. He says, sorry guys, I'm not playing this week. Crying emoji, crying laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji. Then he followed that story up. Again, he said, sorry guys, I'm not playing. Crying laughing emojis. A lot of hot fantasy owners. And then somebody said that in real little print he's doing the bird. I don't know. I couldn't really zoom in on that part. I'm live right now, so I don't know if that's fake news or not. That came from Noah. Oh man. Looks like he's active. Iron Mike Tyson, he's been active. We knew that part. We announced he was active this morning because he was announced as active. The problem is, Iron Mike, is he got on and said that he's not playing. But we think he's lying. We think he's trolling because he's warming up on the field. So, I don't know. Do you start a guy like that? I don't know. You got J.K. Dobbins or Kareem Hunt. Maybe you start those players ahead of him. I don't know. I'm thinking this is bad mojo for his start this week. Now, he's going to screw everybody if he goes out and goes crazy and has a great day and a lot of people bench him. He's going to lose a lot of fans. He's going to lose a lot of fans anyway. I'm not a fan of Jacobs anymore. This pisses me off, man. I work hard in the fantasy football business, making these players loved and revered. This is what they wanted when they entered the NFL. This is what they wanted when they played college football. I highly doubt too many players entered college football trying to rise up the ranks saying, I don't want any fame at all. I just want to play the game in an empty stadium during a COVID-19 2020 season without any fans in the stadium. Yeah, we're already isolated from the NFL. Fans are already not even like in stadiums and very limited amount in certain stadiums. And you're going to isolate yourself from fans even further. It sounds like a great idea, Jacobs. Way to boost your popularity. I don't have him in any of my leagues, to be honest. I didn't draft a whole lot of Josh Jacobs. I did like his value at a certain point during the offseason, then it kind of went up and down. Bottom line is, man, I don't know that I'm not going near this if I've got better options. Oh, that guy just landed, that Dolphin player just landed on his head. That looked like it hurt. I'm flexing Jacobs because Henry is stomping me at the moment. I'm sorry, Iron Mike. Pollard into the end zone. I love Pollard. If Pollard got in there, Pollard would be good. Damn. Josh Jacobs. Jingleheimer, Schmidt. Beasley or Jacobs? That's a tough one. We don't know if Jacobs is playing IG World. All we know is that he announced he's not playing with crying emojis. He put a lot of hot fantasy owners as another story, and now he's active. We knew that. And now he's on the field warming up. Take it for what you will. Ride that risk train if you want. Sounds like he's playing and trolling fantasy football, so don't bench him for a guy that's going to get you 3 or 4 points anyway. You might as well roll the dice and put him out there. Tyreek Hill is going crazy. Tyreek Hill is a beast. Derrick Henry is a beast. Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill. It's going to be Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, and A-Rod coming up here. But I do hope we get clarity right before the game for all you Jacobs owners who probably will never draft the man again. I know I'm going to take a little bit of heat from this. Like, Smitty, you think that players care about fantasy football? And you know what I'm going to say? No! I don't think a lot of them care about fantasy football. And that's why I'm live right now talking about it. Because it's horse crap that they don't care about what we care about, which is seeing them on the field. Swift or Jacobs? I go Swift. If he's good and he looks like he's good to go. What's Cousins doing? I don't know. He just got sacked. as we speak. But who thought Cousins was a lock to do well? I mean, he was at risk. Should I sub Jacobs in for McKissick or Mostert at this point? I hate to tell you not to play Jacobs because I think he's trolling everybody. Look at that deep pass. Hamler! Doing business today, bros. Hamler's good. Locke, 279 and 4 TDs. Hamler, 86 and 2 TDs. Pretty impressive day for Locke. I don't think Locke is the real deal. I mean, I'm playing Jacobs regardless of what he says. I don't blame you, Mike. Anyway, I'll be back. Wanted to break this to you. I wanted to break the potentially fake breaking news story. Go get him in the afternoon games, people. I appreciate every one of you.